No one knows Xiaolin who is at the bottom of the Star Academy. The woman giggled at this time. Don't call me Xiaolin. Lin Qiu said with black lines at this moment. Small? Where is it small? Although this body looks weaker and weaker, it still has some advantages, that is, it has a specialty. Aren't you? You are not young. The woman licked her lips at this moment, and then said with a wink. Fairy, it's really a fairy, Lin Qiu can't bear it now. But at this time the woman turned upright and said, let's talk about it, which repair fluid to choose. The 9,800 union currency is just fine. Lin Qiu breathed a sigh of relief and said. He was really afraid of accidentally confessing the title of his junior boy here. While talking, Lin Qiu handed the bank card to the woman. Isn't Xiao Qiang here before? Lin Qiu said a little puzzled at this time. He asked for leave today, so I will help him for a day. By the way, my name is Xia Ruo Shui. Hearing the water characters of her name, Lin Qiu suddenly thought of some evil scenes. Well, take off your clothes and lie down. After swiping the card to deduct the 9,008 alliance coins, Xia Ruo Shui said to Lin Qiu. Walking in the smart medical cabin beside that, Lin Qiu was a little embarrassed. Because you want to enter the medical cabin, you have to take off your clothes and pants. Of course, you can keep a pair of underwear. You shouldn't be shy anymore. Xia Ruo Shui smiled with squinting eyes at this time. Ahem, Lin Qiu flushed, then kept calm, took off his clothes and pants. Tisk tisk, I shouldn't call you Xiaolin. Xia Ruo Shui teased at this moment. But the injuries on Lin Qiu's body surprised her a bit. The body is all covered with various red marks, and it seems that there are a lot of hidden wounds, all of which have been beaten for years. After lying down in the medical cabin, Xia Ruo Shui poured the green culture solution into the medical cabin from the other side. The more expensive the repair fluid, the better the repairability, but Lin Qiu's is a soft tissue contusion. Although it is a bit serious, ordinary repair fluid is fine. 10,000 is only 200 left, which is really expensive. Soon, Lin Qiu felt that the repair liquid slowly covered his whole body. The medical cabin is about to close. The estimated repair time is 5 hours. Soon, 5 hours passed. When Lin Qiu woke up again, the body's repair fluid had slowly sank and disappeared. The hatch opened, and the injuries on his body had completely disappeared. Those dark diseases before he crossed over were also repaired at this time, and the whole body seemed to be full of vitality. Put on the clothes and pants set aside, and walked out of the room. The woman was gone. Lin Qiu didn't think much, he checked the time, and then hurried to his class. There are 20 places for the actual combat in the A20 area this time, and all entry-level martial artists in our class can participate. The head teacher Luo Li, standing on the podium, said to everyone. There are just 20 entry-level warriors in the class, so there is no need to fight for places. Where is Ma Qiang? At this moment, Luo Li glanced at the crowd, then said aloud. Ma Qiang had an operation on the sea area. Zhang Dong and Chen Li looked at each other, and then said. Surgery. Luo Li was taken aback. What happened? He was beaten by Lin Qiu so that all his ribs were broken and his spine was cracked. Chen Li gritted his teeth and said aloud. Are you kidding me? A man next to him laughed out loud at this moment. The rest of the people also laughed. Lin Qiu is the bottom of the academy. Anyone is stronger than Lin Qiu. Can this kind of useless wood beat Ma Qiang like this? This is something no one would believe. What I'm saying is true. Chen Li said with his neck red at this time. He didn't understand how Lin Qiu could explode with such a powerful force at that time. He only beat Ma Qiang with one blow. Like this. Forget it, then if you go to the A20 area to practice combat, Ma Qiang doesn't have to go. Luo Li rubbed his brow and said aloud. Teacher, can I go? At this moment, Lin Qiu walked in from outside the door and said. At this time, everyone's eyes turned to Lin Qiu's side. Chen Li and Zhang Dong's faces were startled, and they seemed a little scared. Ma Qiang was beaten like that, but they were not afraid. Lin Qiu, there are all zombies and mutant behemoths in the A20 area. You haven't even reached the strength of a beginner martial artist. It's almost a death. A man sneered at this time. The others couldn't help but look at Lin Qiu with a mentally handicapped expression. Lin Qiu, don't be impulsive, the A20 area is more dangerous, so you should practice more first. Luo Li was silent for a while and then also said. Lin Qiu's theoretical knowledge is very good, but his body is really too weak. If I can beat you, you can read www.yuyuganshu.com, can I go? Lin Qiu looked at the man who had just made a disdainful application, and then said lightly. It's up to you. The man called Su Jun. He was very tall and stood up suddenly, staring at Lin Qiu. Hearing Lin Qiu provoking him, he immediately felt ashamed. A waste firewood with the lowest military value is going to challenge the funds? Try it. Lin Qiu narrowed his eyes and said. The analytical eye is activated at this moment. Su Jun level, entry-level warrior power, 52 constitution, 41 speed, 37 comprehensive combat power, 443. This guy is a little weaker than Ma Qiang. As long as he is careful to avoid it, when his anger is full, he can use a charged blow to knock him down directly. Okay. Su Jun smirked, thinking that Lin Qiu must be beaten to death. You. Luo Li was taken aback at this moment, but Su Jun had already followed Lin Qiu out. Lin Qiu, don't fight him, he has become an entry-level warrior. Just as he walked out, a man said to Lin Qiu. This person is called Yang Tian, he is a fat man, and the only person in the class who doesn't look down on Lin Qiu. Don't worry, I wanted to beat him a long time ago. Lin Qiu's mouth curled up and said. Su Jun didn't bully himself less in class. Lin Qiu squeezed his fists tightly. Look, that big waist Chai Lin Qiu actually had a fight with someone, isn't this looking for death? Although it was during class at this time, many classes were doing combat training on the playground. I saw Lin Xiu Su Jun stood in the martial arts arena in the middle, and a large number of people suddenly came to watch. Su Jun, the end is up. Luo Li also had a headache at this time. He never thought that Lin Qiu would be so impulsive, but there was no way. At this time, he could only tell Su Jun. Is a classmate after all, if something goes wrong, he, the teacher in charge, is also responsible. Well, I will educate Lin Qiu well. Su Jun nodded at this time, and then said with a sneer. At this moment, Su Jun shot. As an entry-level martial artist, his physical fitness is very good. At this time, he rushed to Lin Qiu's side quickly, raised his huge fist, and was about to hit Lin Qiu's body. Bang! Lin Qiu directly blocked it with his hands at this time, but still felt severe pain. Just used those repairing fluids to repair all the dark diseases of his body. At this time, his physique has risen from the original 33 points to 35 points. Although it seems that there are only 2 points, Lin Qiu feels that his body is different from the original illness. And at this time, because of Su Jun's punch, his anger has risen to 20 points in an instant. Very good. Then just dodge and resist all the time. Where to hide? Seeing Lin Qiu's continuous dodge, Su Jun suddenly became angry, and rushed to Lin Qiu's side very quickly. Ha ha ha, it's really trash, only to avoid it. Some people couldn't help laughing when they saw Lin Qiu's continual flight. Zhang Dong and Chen Li feel that Lin Qiu is pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. After all, they had seen Lin Qiu explode with extremely strong power before directly hitting Ma Qiang. 30 o'clock, 40 o'clock. Dead trash. Don't hide from you trademark. Su Jun was extremely angry at this time, coupled with the crowds around so many people, he wanted to hit Lin Qiu on the ground directly, but Lin Qiu here dodging all the time, there was no attack at all. Although he sometimes hit Lin Qiu, he was blocked in front by his arms. Luo Li looked a little surprised at this time. As his head teacher, of course he knew Lin Qiu. Although Lin Qiu has made a lot of efforts to cultivate, but he is naturally weak in physique and relatively low self-esteem, and he is bullied in the class and even in the college. But I didn't expect that Lin Qiu today seemed to be a different person. Although his strength is still not that great, his eyes show an extremely determined look, which he has not seen before. Go to hell! Su Jun was already furious at this time, and he hit him with a punch. Can't hide it. The rest of the people also watched this scene stubbornly, as if they could have expected Lin Qiu to fall to the ground with a punch. Ding! The anger value is full. Do you use a charged blow? Yes. Just when his fist was about to hit, the voice that seemed to have been missing for a long time rang. Lin Qiu laughed wildly at this time, and then smashed Su Jun with a punch. Death! Seeing Lin Qiu didn't evade his own blow, but instead slammed his fist, Su Jun suddenly narrowed his eyes. It's over. Some girls couldn't help covering their eyes at this time. Su Jun is an entry-level warrior. The power of this fist is enough to smash Lin Qiu's hand bones. Ah! A wailing sound came out, but it was not Lin Qiu who made this wailing, but Su Jun. With the two fists touching each other, Su Jun was knocked out, and his arms became distorted, and the obvious bones were broken. At this time, the audience was silent. Didn't believe this scene, it was amazing and weird. The trash who was at the bottom of the school's military value actually knocked down an entry-level warrior? Impossible! Impossible! Su Jun seemed to have forgotten the sharp pain in his arm, but shouted loudly. Send him to treatment. Although Luo Li was shocked at this time, he quickly arranged for his classmates to take Su Jun away for bone treatment. In the future, no one is allowed to call me trash. Lin Qiu stood there at this time, then glanced at everyone, and suddenly shouted. Okay, so handsome. When some girls saw Lin Qiu's domineering scene at this time, they couldn't help but feel their heartbeats speeding up. Lin Qiu was originally handsome and had excellent academic performance, but because his body was too weak, he had no chance to become a martial artist, and he was often bullied, so no girl liked him. However, Lin Qiu at this time seemed to be completely reborn. Some girls have brilliant eyes. Teacher Luo, can I go to the A20 area for actual combat training, right? Lin Qiu walked over at this time, and then said to Luo Li. Although there are many zombies and mutant beasts in the A20 area, as long as you get there, you should be able to gain more experience by killing those mutant beasts. If no accident, zombies should be able to do it. When the time comes, as long as the potential point is raised, let alone become a normal person, even if it is a strong person beyond the class or even the college, it is a matter of time. Yes. Yu reading www.yuyugonshu.com. Luo Li was silent for a while, then smiled bitterly. How did you do it? He found that he couldn't understand the student in front of him. The power he just burst out seemed to have reached the strength that a real warrior had. But looking at Lin Qiu's appearance at this time, it is obvious that he has not even reached the level of a beginner martial artist. Could it be that he has cultivated any fist that can burst out great power instantly? Impossible, his physical fitness is impossible to cultivate. This is a secret. Lin Qiu said with a mysterious smile at this time. The fact that Lin Qiu defeated Su Jun suddenly spread in the academy. Although Su Jun was only an entry-level warrior, he was not a high-ranking figure in the school battle list. But the point is that Lin Qiu, the end of the 10,000 years crane, with an extremely useless combat power of 250, actually knocked down Su Jun, an entry-level warrior, and this matter was different. Furthermore, under the deep knowledge of the insiders, it was discovered that Ma Qiang seemed to have been overthrown by Lin Qiu on the same day, which made the academy even more popular. However, Lin Qiu did not pay attention to these things. Zhang Dong and Chen Li did not dare to return to the dormitory tonight. It would be a bit of an accident to knock down Ma Qiang, but Lin Qiu knocked down Su Jun again. Both of them. People who haven't even reached the entry-level warrior dare not return to the dormitory at all. I was afraid that Lin Qiu would beat them half-bodied. Lin Qiu applied some ointment in the dormitory. Although he had been defending in the fight with Su Jun today, he was an entry-level warrior after all. At this time, he still left a lot of scars on his body. Got the qualification to go to the A20 area for actual combat. Lin Qiu must be prepared. Tomorrow, kill the zombies and mutant monsters, upgrade. A20 area, this is an area located in the north of Chengcheng. This site has been nuclearly contaminated, and there is a virus problem. The surrounding city is all zombies, and there are some mutant monsters. Although it is dangerous here, crisis always coexists with opportunity. Many parts of the mutant monster's body are made of strong materials, and some high-level weapons are made from the mutant monster's body. Moreover, in every mutated brain there is a product called different crystal. This kind of thing is similar to a crystal, which is full of special energy. The martial artist can absorb the energy inside for cultivation, greatly improving the cultivation level. After all, it was the first time to go to the A20 area for actual combat, so Luo Li, the head teacher, couldn't help being more cautious. Early in the morning, take the latest maglev train and reach the A20 area in just a few hours. The speed of the train was so fast that Lin Qiu felt like he was on a rocket. This is a small town. There are huge walls around the town. It is impossible for ordinary mutant beasts and zombies to break through directly, so it is relatively safe. It's a bit nervous. Yang Tian was already wearing some protective clothing, holding a machete in his hand, and then said, "What are you afraid of?" Lin Qiu smiled, but looked relatively relaxed. But his heart is still a little vacant. After all, it is the first time to kill the so-called zombies and mutant beasts. "You are not afraid of me?" Yang Tian murmured. Because of yesterday's things, he has a little bit incomprehensible. Lin Qiu, he can defeat Su Jun yesterday, then Lin Qiu's strength must have reached the entry-level martial artist. Did Lin Qiu always pretend before? This is unlikely. Who can bear the name of a waste paper for so long? Assemble. Luo Li stood in front at this time, and then said sharply. As soon as his voice fell, everyone lined up neatly, making Luo Li nodded in satisfaction. You have been training in the academy for so long. Although your ability has reached the entry-level warrior, you can use the sword. It is not a problem to deal with ordinary zombies and mutant beasts, but actual combat can truly test your ability. Only actual combat can change your mind. Get stronger. Last year, there were several entry-level warriors who were bitten to death by Tier 1 zombies because of fear when dealing with zombies. Hearing this, everyone's faces became serious, and some people began to sweat on their foreheads. We'll be ready to set off later. 20 people, divided into 4 teams, freely combine. Lin Qiu, let's be together. Yang Tian looked at everyone at this time, and then said to Lin Qiu. Lin Qiu nodded. The other 2 teamed up with Lin Qiu were Zhang Yi and Ye Qiu. But they seemed a bit reluctant, as if they were embarrassed by the Lin Qiu team. Lin Qiu didn't bother to pay attention to them. One last question, do you really decide to go? As long as you walk out of this door, the area outside is full of zombies and mutant beasts. It is up to you to die or live. Luo Li stood at the gate of the city wall over there. Then glanced at everyone and said, "Go." Everyone said in unison. Luo Li nodded in satisfaction. Although he didn't know what the result would be by then, at least there were no scams in the team. Remember, don't go too deep. The strength of the zombies and mutant beasts in the depths will be very strong. Luo Li said this, his face became serious. Those high-level mutant beasts in the depths, even him, a Tier 3 martial artist, are not so easy to deal with. 20 people are wearing battle uniforms and swords provided by the Star Academy. Although the battle uniform is very soft to wear, it can withstand ordinary attacks. The battle is also made of special metal, which is very sharp. Go, remember to bring the slashed mutant beast crystals back. You can exchange points at the supply station in the A20 area. After Luo Li's words were finished, everyone went outside. As soon as he went out, he saw an endless forest in front of him. It seems that there are so many buildings hidden in the jungle. Lin Qiu was a little shocked when he saw this scene. The old city was already covered by these huge trees, and he couldn't see the original city at all. As soon as they walked out, the 4 teams walked in different directions. Be careful, don't drag our hind legs. Zhang Yi walked ahead and snorted to Lin Qiu. Although Lin Qiu knocked down Su Jun that day, Zhang Yi still didn't take it seriously. He was much more powerful than Su Jun, and his strength was almost at the level of an official martial artist. What to pretend? Yang Tian said with a disdainful pooh. Lin Qiu looked around, and he ignored Zhang Yi's mockery at this time and focused on it. Although he defeated Ma Qiang and Su Jun with a charged blow, his strength was still very weak. Those zombies and mutant behemoths are very crazy, they attack people to the death, and they will not show mercy at all. It can be said, you reading www.ifyugonshu.com is not paying attention, it is very likely that you will lose your life. Over there. At this moment, in a vine-covered building over there, a few scarlets appeared, and Yang Tian's pupils suddenly contracted when he saw this scene. Lin Qiu immediately opened his own analytical eyes. Tier 1 zombie features: slow movement, sharp teeth, carrying viruses. Comprehensive combat power, 380 grass, even a low-level zombie is more powerful than himself. Lin Qiu couldn't help getting angry at this time. Now his comprehensive combat strength has reached 291. Although it is out of 250, it is still very low compared to others. The zombies seemed to have seen the crowd, and at this time they slowly started to run out. Sure enough, the introduction to the Eye of Analyze is correct. These zombies move slowly. As long as they are not caught close by, they should be easy to deal with. Zhang Yi, Ye Qiu, and Yang Tian were sweating coldly on their foreheads. After all, it was the first time I saw real zombies. At this time, the cheeks of those zombies were pale and a bit rotten, and their open mouths could see sharp teeth and dripping saliva. For a while, the 3 of them looked a little at a loss. But Lin Qiu was excited at this time. Experience. Experience. If you guess right, you will have experience in killing zombies. Holding this thin, but extremely sharp war knife in his hand, he rushed directly up, slashing at the front zombie, and instantly slashed its body from the shoulders, directly splitting it into pieces. 2 cuts. Ding! Congratulations to the master for successfully killing Tier 1 zombies and gaining 200 experience points. Congratulations to the master for successfully upgrading, the current level is 2 and you have gained 2 potential points. 2 potential points? Lin Qiu was pleasantly surprised. He thought that the potential point was only 1 point when he was upgraded to the first level, but he did not expect that there would be 2 points when he was upgraded to the second level. If this is the case, is the third level 3 points? Lin Qiu did not hesitate at this time, and directly added these 2 points to the strength. At this time, the power has already reached 38 points, and it has finally reached the target of a normal person in this world. At this moment, the zombies over there suddenly jumped over. Lin Qiu was startled, and then quickly stepped back. At this moment, Zhang Yi gave a cold snort, and then rushed forward. He is an entry-level martial artist, and his strength is much stronger than Lin Qiu. At this time, as he slashed hard, several zombies over there were directly solved by him. Zhang Yi, great! Ye Qiu hurried up to flatter at this time. I didn't know who was afraid to go up just now. Yang Tian sneered at this moment. You! Zhang Yi pointed to Yang Tian, his face also turned ugly. Lin Qiu didn't pay attention to so many of them. The most important thing now is to hunt for zombies and then upgrade. Just being preempted by Zhang Yi to kill those zombies still made Lin Qiu a little bit painful. Those are all experiences. Continue walking forward, you can clearly see the outline of the city here, and Lin Qiu can't help being a little surprised. When I was there just now, it looked like a forest, but the trees were too tall to block the buildings on this side. Yang Tian and the others looked around, they were very careful, for fear that some creature would suddenly appear. It's this kind of zombies again, let me come this time. Ye Chu's eyes saw the zombies wandering not far in front, he was immediately happy, and then rushed up. Let's go too. Yang Tian said aloud at this time. Originally, I came out this time for experience. I saw zombies at this time, so I must solve one or two by myself. Roar! But when Ye Chu rushed to the front, the zombie in the front rushed over at an extremely fast speed. Suddenly, Ye Chu, who was caught off guard, was thrown directly to the ground. The zombie opened his mouth wide and bit his body. Get off! Zhang Yi reacted quickly at this time, and then kicked the zombie in the chest and kicked him aside. How could that zombie be so fast? Lin Qiu's pupils shrank at this time, and then quickly opened the eyes of analysis. Characteristics of the first-order zombie leader: quick action, sharp claws, can call first-order zombies. Comprehensive combat power, 580 fuck. Chief zombie. Yang Tian. Don't go there. Lin Qiu said suddenly to Yang Tian when he saw this scene. What's the matter? Yang Tian said to Lin Qiu with some confusion. This is just the leader zombie, he may call more tier 1 zombies later, and there may be trouble at that time. Lin Qiu said solemnly at this time. Although he wants to kill zombies to gain experience, he still has to live. Nonsense! What kind of leader level, just kill it. Zhang Yi was obviously very upset with Lin Qiu, and at this moment he rushed over there with his saber. The leader of the zombie even dodged. While Zhang Yi was attacking with a machete, he kept dodging. The sharp nails still drew on Zhang Yi's uniform here, tearing a hole instantly. Get out! Zhang Yi slammed into its arm while holding the battle abruptly. With a bang, at this moment, he directly cut off his arm. Roar! The zombie suddenly let out a huge wailing sound, resounding throughout the forest. Seeing no trash, dealing with this kind of zombies is easy for me, Zhang Yi. He turned to Lin Qiu and said disdainfully. Zhang Yi, you, behind you. But at this moment, Ye Chu kept rolling back from the ground, and then said aloud. Lin Qiu was shocked when he looked at the scene there. The information in the eye of analyzing was not wrong. There were so many zombies rushing over. As soon as Zhang Yi turned around, a zombie rushed towards his body. And there are more and more zombies behind, as if there are dozens of them. Zhang Yi was also shocked at this time, and while slashing in the past, he quickly retreated back. Seeing so many zombies, he was also shocked. Lin Qiu, what are you going to do? At this moment, Lin Qiu saw that the zombie who was chopped down to the ground by Zhang Yi didn't seem to be dead, so he hurried up to make a repair. Ding! Congratulations to the master for successfully killing tier 1 zombies and gaining 200 experience points. A crisp sound rang instantly. The cold voice was so beautiful in Lin Qiu's ears. But upgrading to level 3 is not so fast. I looked at the progress bar in my mind, 200/500 kill 3 more, just kill 3 more. Lin Qiu. Hurry up! Yang Tian suddenly said, looking at the zombies slowly coming from all directions. Zhang Yi, who was scared just now, had his face changed drastically, and then ran away directly behind. If so many zombies were accidentally injured and infected, they would be finished. Although he is considered strong in the class, reading www.yuyuganshu.com but also very afraid of death. Zhang Yi, wait for me. Yu was so scared that he was peeing in his butt, and quickly followed Zhang Yi to escape. Lin Qiu saw the blood of the surrounding zombies began to boil. Now his power is still not enough. As long as you kill these zombies, you should be able to upgrade several levels in a row. And except for the leader zombie, the other tier 1 zombies are very slow and should be able to kill them, and because the leader zombie had just been chopped off by Zhang Yi, he was standing on the ground with a broken arm. It seemed as if he was about to connect to his broken place. Have the opportunity. As the saying goes, the wealth and wealth are in danger, so fight. Holding the saber in his hand, Lin Qiu slashed at a zombie next to him. With a bang sound, the zombie's head was directly chopped off, and blood splashed all over the ground. Today is the first time to kill a zombie. Lin Qiu couldn't help but feel a little nauseous. Lin Qiu. Seeing that Lin Qiu was still killing these zombies, Yang Tian thought for a while, and also mentioned the machete and Lin Qiu and killed the surrounding zombies. The reaction ability and speed of these zombies were too slow. Under Lin Qiu's continuous slashing, he didn't know how many zombies were killed. The reminder of gaining experience kept ringing in the back of his head. Does it need to fight like that? Yang Tian saw Lin Su frantically swinging his saber at the zombies, and he couldn't help feeling cold at this time, and subconsciously muttered to himself. Roar! At this moment, the arm of the leader zombie, I don't know what's going on, has already been connected and healed. Only then will I see Lin Qiu, who is constantly cutting and killing tier 1 zombies, rushed over at an extremely fast speed. Roar! There was a roar from the zombie's mouth, and the fingers of both hands became extremely sharp, and at this moment he rushed towards Lin Qiu. Because the zombies had just been hacked, Lin Qiu's body had been splashed with blood. Looks very scary. Lin Qiu hurriedly wanted to evade at this moment, but the leader of the zombie was too fast. With a bang, Lin Qiu threw Lin Qiu to the ground, then opened the big mouth of the blood basin and was about to go. Lin Qiu bit the neck. Fuck! Lin Qiu shrank his legs at this time, and then pressed against its abdomen, and then firmly grasped its wrists with both hands, preventing it from jumping down. Do you know that you have bad breath? Lin Qiu gritted his teeth at this time, and then shouted loudly. Yang Tian is still killing the zombies that are constantly surrounding him, and he has no chance to take care of Lin Qiu here. By the way, I killed so many zombies just now, how many upgrades have been made? At this time, Lin Qiu suddenly realized that he had just killed him, and almost forgot. Took a sudden look at this time, and he has reached the 5th level. And the potential point, there are 12 points. All are added to the power. Lin Qiu shouted abruptly, the power value at this time, directly increased from 38 to 50. A powerful force poured into Lin Qiu's body instantly. This has reached the strength of an entry-level warrior. What? Yang Tian heard Lin Qiu's roar, and then subconsciously looked at him. At this time, as Lin Qiu roared out with the word roll, his feet violently kicked the leader zombie directly. Originally, Lin Qiu's current strength was not so easy to kill the zombie, but because it was just cut off by Zhang Yi, although it was picked up by it, its physical strength seemed not as strong as before. Look like. Lin Qiu took advantage of the victory and pursued, and then rushed up with the saber on the ground. Go to hell! The zombie obviously did not expect Lin Qiu to attack so directly, and immediately pierced Lin Qiu in his chest. It roared, and then grabbed Lin Qiu's body with both hands. Lin Qiu backed away abruptly and easily dodged. This is worthy of the leader zombie. At this time, he has not completely died, and he is constantly struggling on the ground. Lin Qiu was already covered with cold sweat at this time, just a little bit, his sharp nails were about to scratch his neck. When the time comes, I am afraid there will be a risk of infection. Lin Qiu kicked his leg to the ground, then slammed his right foot on his chest, slammed the battle out, and chopped it down at the neck. Directly cut off its head, and there was no sound. Ding! Congratulations, Master, kill the leader zombies, raise the level to level 6, unlock the gene lock system. Congratulations to the master for gaining 6 potential points. Lin Qiu sat on the ground, panting, and checked his attribute page in his mind. Host, Lin Qiu level 6 experience value, 0 power, 50 physique, 35 speed, 32 skill, analytic eye anger storage power, 0/100 comprehensive combat power, 380 combat power. Lin Qiu was overjoyed, but then he felt that the system was full of malice. The last time it was 250, this time it was 380 at half time. Is like mocking myself. Lin Xi thought for a while, adding strength all the time is not enough. If the speed and structure cannot be improved, it will have a great impact on the battle. For example, after fighting for a while, I was out of breath. After thinking about it, I added 3 potential points to my physique to make my system reach the level of a normal person. Add 3 more points to the speed, so that the speed reaches 35. At this time, looking down from below, under the system frame, there are many icons, all of which are locked by chains. Gene lock. Humans are the most complicated animals. In human genes, there are a large part of the fragments that have not been used, have great potential, and have not been stimulated by humans. The so-called gene lock is the most basic potential in the human body. Legends open the gene lock in the body to extremely, it can become a godlike existence. Lin Qiu held his breath at this time, and mind-clicked the icon of the first gene lock. Warning, it cannot be unlocked if the level is less than 15. Fuck me. Lin Qiu cursed secretly, but at level 15, as long as you continue to kill these zombies, it shouldn't be too slow. Thinking of this, Lin Qiu couldn't help but get excited again. Lin Qiu, are you okay? Yang Tian had already taken care of the zombies at this time, and he immediately walked over to Lin Qiu. It's okay. Lin Qiu shook his head, then got up from the ground. The blood on his body made him feel bad. Yang Tian was a little surprised at this moment, that leader zombie was actually killed by Lin Qiu like this. And at this time he faintly felt that Lin Qiu's body seemed to have changed, and Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com seemed to suddenly become a lot stronger. Let's go, let's continue to look inside. Lin Qiu said. Now his power is almost the same as that of an entry-level warrior. If you go inside, it will be much easier to deal with zombies. Yet. Yang Tian nodded. The two continued to walk deep inside, and soon they found a sign not far in front that said, "Entry-level warriors are forbidden to go deep." It seems that this is the prohibited zone mentioned by Teacher Luo. Yang Tian said when he saw the plaque. Let's stop going in. Lin Qiu frowned. He hadn't found any zombies all the way, and had no chance to gain experience. Would you like to go in and have a look? Linear. Lin Qiu. While Lin Qiu was thinking, Yang Tian seemed to see something, then he pulled Che Lin Qiu's arm and said with a trembling body. What's the matter? Lin Qiu was taken aback, following Yang Tian's gaze into the distance, his eyes widened at this moment. There is a snake on the big tree over there, a big python. The python has red eyes, its body is as thick as a barrel, and it seems to be able to change its color with the surrounding environment. No wonder I didn't find out just now. This is the so-called evolution beast, right? Analytic eye. The third-order color-changing python, characteristic? Strength. Can't resolve? What the is this? Lin Qiu was taken aback. This was the first time he encountered something that could not be analyzed. Run, run quickly. Lin Qiu said with cold sweat at this moment, as he stepped back. Those few people had red eyes and looked endlessly, and they attacked the 7 inches of the color-changing python. Lin Qiu continued to hide in the bushes, holding his breath. Although that third-order mutant evolutionary beast is powerful, it cannot withstand the attacks of so many warriors. And the weakness of snakes is all 7 inches. Although it has evolved to such a huge level, gradually, with a bang, the huge body fell on the ground. Ha ha ha, dead, finally dead. A man laughed loudly at this time. Although he killed the color-changing python, his companions almost all died. The green material spewed out by the color-changing python corroded many people's bodies into bones. With a tear and pull, when Lin Xianzhen was about to get up, he couldn't help but bumped into a tree on the side, and there was a sound. "Come out for me!" At this moment, he took the long sword in his hand, and pointed to the direction where Lin Qiu was hiding. Lin Qiu was vexed about how he made the sound. His current strength was an entry-level martial artist, and it was almost impossible to deal with an official martial artist. "You guy, you brought this thing here, right?" The man suddenly sneered when he saw Lin Qiu's figure. "What are you doing in a daze? Come here." Lin Qiu gritted his teeth secretly, and then walked over according to his words. "Help me skin this color-changing python, dig out the strange crystal, and then carry my brother back. If you are not obedient, be careful that I kill you with a sword." The tip of the sword in his hand pointed at Lin Qiu, and then said with a sneer. "Quickly dig, dead waste." Lin Qiu walked over, kicked Lin Qiu to the ground with his feet, and then roared. Because he had just drunk the color-changing python to fight, this man seemed to be injured a little at this time. Lin Qiu, who fell on the ground with his back facing him, had a fierce light in his eyes. From the time he crossed over, he secretly swore that he couldn't be as frustrated as the original owner of this body. Happy gratitude. Looked at the ground, the sword just now was on the ground. The person has been injured just now, and his strength must have been greatly reduced. Kill. At the same time that this thought came out of Lin Qiu's heart, he suddenly predicted the man's movements, and then picked up the war knife on the ground at a very fast speed, and slashed it behind. With a bang, the man's arm with the long sword was directly cut off by Lin Qiu. "You!" His eyes widened. "Unbelievable! I forgot to tell you, I hate others calling me trash, and don't kick me with your foot." Lin Qiu snorted coldly. The man who lost his right arm fell to the ground and wailed frantically. At this time, the corpses of other people were all corroded by the venom vomited by the color-changing giant python, almost turned into a dense bone. "Ha ha ha, kill me if you have a species. Otherwise, my Zhang family will definitely not let you go." The man's face was distorted at this time, watching Lin Qiu laugh frantically. The physical fitness of the warrior is much stronger than that of ordinary people. Although the severe pain of a broken arm is unbearable, he will not lose his life. Zhang family. Lin Qiu frowned. There are still many warrior families in this future world. As for the Zhang family, Lin Qiu seems to have heard of it. "That's right. You'd better take me to the medical station in A20 area, then take my arm, and then break my arms, otherwise I must make you die without a place to live." The man was crazy shouted. Obviously, Lin Qiu's knife has already made him lose his mind a bit. Lin Qiu's face also became gloomy at this time. "Who do you think you are?" Lin Qiu sneered as he stood beside his body with a saber in his hand. "You want to kill me? You know the consequences of killing me. I will kill your whole family." The man saw the fierce light in Lin Qiu's eyes, his face suddenly changed, but he said with a grim face. Bang! At this moment, Lin Qiu didn't hesitate, and pierced his chest with a single knife. The man's eyes widened, his eyes full of incredible. "Sorry, I have no family." "Ding! Congratulations, Master, kill a Tier 1 warrior and gain 2500 experience." "Congratulations to the Master, the level has been raised to 7, and he has gained 7 potential points." "Congratulations, Master, kill the warrior for the first time, get a chance to draw a lottery." An icy voice came in his mind, but Lin Qiu didn't have time to enjoy the joy of the upgrade at this time. The surrounding corpses made Lin Qiu look very sick. Covered his chest and retched a few times before slowly feeling the discomfort disappear. "Got another 7 potential points, where should I add it?" Strength, physique, and speed, these three items should be balanced, otherwise the strength alone does not work and other aspects seem to be incompatible. After thinking about it, I added these 7 points to the speed and system respectively. Now, the physique and speed have just become 40 points. As soon as he finished adding his potential points, Lin Qiu felt his body feel relieved. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Now I am a normal person, right? At this time, he looked over to the ground over there. All the people in the adventure squad just now were dead, and the color-changing python was silent. It made him cheaper. The color-changing python's body is all made of good materials, and you can sell it for a lot of money, but this thing is too big to carry. After thinking for a while, Lin Qiu took the saber and chopped over the head of the color-changing python. A dull sound of bang sounded, and there was just a crack in the snake's head. Is really hard. Slashed vigorously several times, and finally split its huge head, and suddenly you can see the bright light in the middle of its head. Alien crystal, a kind of lens that exists in the body of evolutionary beasts, is the source of power for these giant beasts. The general warrior can practice and absorb the energy inside to improve his cultivation. Can also be used as a power source for some machines. It should be possible to sell for a good price. Lin Qiu said with a smile while holding the strange crystal. From these people's backpacks, Lin Qiu found 2 more alien crystals, which seemed to have been obtained by hunting those evolved beasts just now, but the 2 were relatively few compared to them, and they should be the alien crystals of the first-order evolution beasts. Looked at it, it seemed that there was nothing special to hold, and their weapons didn't work well. Without thinking about it, Lin Qiu continued walking inside. The most important thing now is to quickly upgrade and improve your strength. Next time, if you encounter this kind of adventure squad that wants to kill people and make money, you probably won't have such good luck. Now he hasn't noticed, he just ran in the opposite direction, and now if he continues to go forward, it is in the depths of the forest. Continuing to walk forward, Lin Qiu became more and more surprised. These grounds are all the wreckage of buildings, but many of them are covered by plants. I don't know how many years ago, this was a prosperous city, but now it turned into a forest. I can't help but feel a little emotional. With the sound of pounding, Lin Qiu who was walking just hit a can, and it seemed to be Coca-Cola. Hey! Lin Qiu was a little curious. The surface of this can is the same as it looked in his own time. Looked down, there were also production dates on it, which turned out to be 2016. Lin Qiu was a little bit dumbfounded looking at this product from the same era when he traveled over. It's strange, why haven't seen my fellow classmate for so long, and the fat guy Yang Tian doesn't know where he is. There was a sign in front of it that read Dangerous Zone, but after a while on the ground, this building fell directly to the ground without Lin Qiu finding it. With this shaking, some huge birds on the huge trees also scattered. Roar! A huge sound instantly resounded through the forest. Lin Qiu covered his ears, and the beast roar just now made him almost feel like his legs were soft. What is this? Lin Qiu looked deep, and saw a huge figure rushing over. Not good. Cracking, a burst of lightning shot out continuously, and the branches of the thick trees around them instantly became scorched and then broke. Lin Qiu swallowed secretly, then hurriedly jumped onto a thick tree, holding his breath. At this time, his eyes carefully looked forward, and in the middle of the front, he suddenly saw a huge evolved beast. Its size is terribly huge, like a cow, but it looks obviously like a leopard. The open mouth reveals a pair of sharp and slender fangs. What's more surprising is that there are many lightnings surrounding its body. With the wave of its claws, the surrounding trees are all charged by lightning. It got blackened. Fourth order evolutionary beast lightning leopard. Lin Qiu couldn't help taking a breath at this moment. Although the original Lin Qiu had poor physical fitness, the accumulation of knowledge was very strong. Many illustrations of evolution beasts are kept in mind. The third-order color-changing giant python almost killed his own life just now. This fourth-order lightning leopard, he has no power to resist. Escape! Hurry up! But at this moment, there was a woman over there, wearing a long battle dress, holding a long sword with white cold light in her hand, and her delicate cheeks were water-like, with no signs of expression fluctuations. She slashed with a sword, and a white sword aura appeared like a half-moon cut, and all the trees next to it were cut off instantly. Roar! The lightning leopard seemed to be very angry. At this time, as it roared, a large amount of lightning burst out of its body. There were bursts of crackling sounds, like the sound of lightning and air colliding. Although Lin Qiu was still a little far away from there, at this moment, he still felt his whole body tremble. Strong, too strong. Analytic eye. Lin Qiu looked at the woman confronting the lightning leopard at this time, and became more and more curious. Unable to resolve. Lin Qiu was taken aback. How could it not be resolved? Even though the chameleon can't analyze its combat effectiveness, it can always know its rank. Wait, isn't this analytic eye unable to parse out those who are too much stronger than yourself? Continue to use the analyzing eye on the lightning leopard, which is also the word unanalyzable in reality. At this moment, the fight in the middle of the front is still continuing. With the lightning leopard and the woman as the center, all the surrounding trees are broken, and a huge empty space has been formed over there. Seemed to feel the terrifying aura over there, and many low-level evolution beasts fled madly at this time. Plack, the long sword in the woman's hand that was like hoarfrost stabbed there again, but the blue and purple lightning surrounding the body of the lightning leopard was like a natural barrier, forming a defense for it. Roar! It suddenly roared again at this moment, and then slapped it with its paws, but was easily avoided by this woman with a magical posture. The sword of slashed over again, and the ground on the ground was deeply cracked because of the sword aura, which looked extremely terrifying. This is the power of advanced warriors. Seeing this, Lin Qiu couldn't help but his blood boiled. As long as you continue to practice, one day, you can also do it, and even stronger. The battle has been going on. Lin Qiu stared at that side, the duel between the master and the advanced evolving beast. Reading www.yuyuganshu.com is also very useful for myself. Before long, the lightning on the lightning leopard seemed to become weak, and the woman seemed to have seized the opportunity. With a slash of the long sword, the lightning leopard was knocked out directly with the powerful sword energy. The lightning on his body dissipated directly at this instant. Solved. The woman wrinkled her brows at this time, still clenching the long sword in her hand, and then slowly walked towards the lightning leopard. The lightning leopard seemed to be impacted by the sword aura, and a lot of blood poured out from the body. Seems to be dying or unconscious. The woman's frowning brows also stretched out at this time, and then the long sword was about to pierce its head, and there was another fatal blow. But at this moment, the lightning leopard, who was lying motionless on the ground, entered at this moment and suddenly stood up. A huge ball of lightning was released in an instant, turned into a huge ball of lightning and rushed towards the woman. Is too insidious, even pretending to be dead. Lin Qiu was also taken aback at this time. This thing already has some wisdom? Size a lightning, Lin Qiu felt that he could hear clearly. The woman obviously didn't expect the lightning leopard to counterattack this skill so terrifying. The long sword resisted in front, the energy on the body was released, instantly forming a protective cover. But this lightning ball is too terrifying, and the surrounding air seems to be twisted. With a bang, the woman's body was knocked out instantly. Because the trees over there are broken, Lin Qiu can see clearly at this time, there is a cliff over there, and this woman was directly knocked off by the blow. Dead, dead?